It's going to be the end the Political Hypocrisy Act. I'm tired of people like Cindy Hyde-Smith voting against the bipartisan infrastructure money that came down to Mississippi, but showing up at the ribbon cuttings, going on the local news, bragging about the money.
Hey, that's facts. Like, if you're gonna be a politician out here and you voted against Biden sending money down here, you voted against the Biden approved infrastructure bill. That's what he sent. That's money that he sent down here to Mississippi to help with all the buildings, roads, and bridges and all that. She sent her behind up there for the ribbon cutting to accept that money as if she did something. This is what Cindy Hyde-Smith does on a regular basis, especially when there's a Democrat in the White House helping the poor people of Mississippi. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Django Uncensored. Today we'll be talking about this whole Mississippi going blue situation. After the election, there was a whole bunch of misinformation going out there on both sides of the spectrum, the red and the conservative side and the blue side. So we're going to take a look at it and dig into it, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Donald Trump is getting a rude awakening in, of all places, Mississippi. Don't rule out Mississippi flipping blue, because if you look at what's happened in the 2023 governor's election there, it was decided within 25 or 30,000 votes. You go back and you look at the election before that in the United States Senate, I think in 2018, 65,000 votes. And just when people think about other states flipping blue, you know, the margins ended up being bigger than that. But let's take a look at what's happening inside the state of Mississippi. The Mississippi Delta conservative farmers feeling betrayed right now. They were told by their governor and
there's a bunch of discussion going on about tariffs right now. The Supreme Court is currently hearing Trump's whole case on the tariff situation right now as we're recording this. So yeah, tariffs are really hurting the people of Mississippi, especially the farmers and that whole soybean industry. China is a big consumer of soybeans when it comes to American soybean farmers. So yeah, that whole tariff situation is doing nothing but hurting all of them.
Cindy Hyde-Smith was the agriculture commissioner. I remember back in April where she was saying the T word, tariffs. It's incredible. It's going to be great in the short term and long term. Y'all are going to do great. Don't believe me? Here's her direct quote right here from WAPT 16. U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith speaks on tariffs. She goes, you know, tariffs, I think they're going to be a really good tool. I think the president knows how to use that tool. And I say all the time, that just means we need to talk. But there's been a lot of unfair trading practices in agriculture. And she says this is going to be great for the people of Mississippi. She was the agriculture commission. She knows about the soybean farmers there. She knows about the economy. She knew it was going to crush them. And she sold the people of Mississippi a bill of goods or a bill of snake oil from Donald Trump. You want to take a look at what's happening in the Mississippi Delta, where you have conservative farmers featured in the Mississippi Independent, like Ray Crawford. And it goes through his day and it talks about how there's nowhere to sell his product to. He goes, you know, the biggest buyer, China, hasn't purchased any soybeans from the United States so far. And it goes on to talk about a legion of Mississippi farmers, in addition to Crawford, who leans Republican, who leans conservative, who are feeling the, quote, dramatic impacts of what they see as an...
Yeah, and that goes into what I'm saying right now is that just about all of Trump's policies hurt Trump voters, as far as the refusal to put out SNAP funds, the refusal to expand Medicaid or Medicare, the refusal to continue the subsidies for insurance premiums. These are the types of things that Trump could easily do to help his own constituents, but it's not happening because he doesn't care about them people. He cares about his buddies, the billionaires that's around him all the time and that's paying to get his ball house built. It's clear as day.
Necessary undermining of their global markets. Quote, they're all terrified of losing their livelihood, says Congressmember Benny Thompson to the Mississippian Independent. And it's not just agriculture folks as well. Rural hospitals from the disastrous budget bill. Remember when Trump and everyone says, nothing's going to happen. This is going to be so much better for you. And everyone was like, that's not what's actually in the bill. The bill's going to shut down rural hospitals. It's going to take away your health care. Well, people are feeling the impact.
And that's a big fight that's happening in Mississippi right now as we speak, is that there's a big fight over those rural hospitals and the access to Medicare and Medicaid, and just the access to the bare minimum for some of the poorest people in this state. And the Democrats are very happy that they were able to break that supermajority because of the simple fact that they know that this fight is coming. And it's good that we did that. I will support what happened here in Mississippi. Even though it's not enough, it's still enough to hold up what the Republicans are trying to do in this state.
Especially in Mississippi, where it looks like 8 rural hospitals in the state are at risk of closure right now, specifically because their Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith voted to close their hospitals. So she's voting to close their hospitals, destroy their farms, and what else? They can't even get aid from the horrific weather that's occurred there in Mississippi. I think they're still petitioning for federal funding to get federal funding for damages caused by severe weather events. Like, that's unheard of. I mean,
yeah, people here in Mississippi, if you remember those tornadoes, and a lot of people, like right after Trump was elected, I believe, a lot of people were asking for federal aid to come down and help them. A bunch of communities were devastated here in Mississippi because of those chains of tornadoes that came through here earlier in the year. And Trump still hasn't paid out those FEMA funds to those people, even though they've petitioned and applied for those funds. You get what I'm saying? So Trump really doesn't care about his own voters or some of the most loyal voters to him.
How punitive can you be towards a state? And for Cindy Hyde-Smith, who's out there praising Trump, I'll show you this video right here. I got not just Cindy Hyde-Smith, I got a video of all of the Mississippi Republican legislatures like praising Donald Trump like he's the greatest person. He ain't even giving you the aid for your weather damage, for catastrophic weather. You think this guy likes you? He's not helping you.
No, he's too busy getting rid of FEMA. It's a wrap for FEMA. Like, if y'all asking FEMA for aid after that election, you might as well ask the state for some more money, which ain't gonna happen either.
When bad weather destroys your state, here, just watch some of this. I can't tolerate more than 20 seconds, so you'll get the sense of it. So let's play it.
Hello, I'm Jason White, Mississippi Speaker of the Mississippi House of Representatives.
My name is Rodney Hall. I am the representative for the 20th District of Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Clay DeWeese. I'm the representative from Oxford, Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Michael Watson, Mississippi's 36th Secretary of State. And I just want to say thank you to President Trump.
President Trump, I want to say thank you from Mississippi and the Mississippi Legislature for delivering historic and preserving tax cuts for.
And this is exactly why we need to change our representatives here in this state. We need to get more people of my generation, more people of forward thinking and more progressive thinking in our Congress here in the state, preferably critical thinking individuals, regardless of party affiliation. Critical thinking individuals is what I want to see representing the people of Mississippi. That's all I want to see. This here is not what I deem to be critical thinking people. They are not critical thinking people. They are not. There's no way that these people are up here thanking Trump for doing nothing for Mississippi. Literally nothing. What has he done?
For hardworking Mississippians,
People bringing more of their paycheck home, very important.
That's a roadmap for all of our states.
I'm also interested in the opportunity zones that he is now making.
He's not giving you aid for storm-related damage. He had to load all the other things.
Did they say opportunity zones where? What are we talking about here?
It's the twilight zone right there. But I want to highlight a district attorney, a Democratic candidate for Senate in 2026. His name is Scott Colom. Let me just introduce you to him. He had one of the best rollout videos I've seen. Let's play. He's running against Cindy Hyde-Smith. Yeah, the one who said the T-word tariffs. It's going to be great for the people of Mississippi. You're going to get so rich, Mississippi. You know what I'm going to do with all your money, says Cindy Hyde-Smith. And now we have a real candidate, Scott Colom, for the Democrats. Here's what he's got to say. Let's play it.
All right, girls, look at that camera right there and say your lines.
Lights, camera, action.
My name's Scott Colom, and those 2 little girls you just saw are my entire world. And there are 2 big reasons why I'm running for the United States Senate. For the last 10 years, I've worked as a district attorney here in Northeast Mississippi, where I've won 94% of my trials and solved a record number of cold cases. But the best crime stopper is a job and an education. Cindy Hyde-Smith doesn't get that because she's too concerned about her job in DC. And her latest vote is gonna run up our debt, kick over 100,000 Mississippians off their health care, and put our hospitals at risk. Also, billionaires.
Those are real numbers, by the way. What you just saw flash across the screen right there, all them people losing health care, hospitals closing, that is because of the big, beautiful bill that was passed. But y'all ain't paying attention to that. Y'all just worried about these $2,000 checks that's rolling out. That's wild to me, but go off.
Because she's too concerned about her job in D.C. And her latest vote is gonna run up our debt, kick over 100,000 Mississippians off their health care, and put our hospitals at risk. Also, billionaires in California and New York can get a tax break. That's not who I am. I'm a 7th-generation Mississippian from Columbus. My father was a Republican who worked for Ronald Reagan. My mom served as a
That's a red flag, but
judge. She was tough and fair, both in the courtroom and at home. She kept us in line, didn't she, Dad?
She still keeps us in line.
Amen. I found the love of my life right here in Mississippi. How you doing? And I coached my 2 little girls, Lucy and Maddie's soccer team. Who wants to run some laps?
No!
Look, when people outside of Mississippi think about our state, they think about our past. I think it's finally time to look to our future. I want to boost wages for Mississippi workers because, let's face it, everything still costs way too much.
Scott Colom, you do not do the grocery shopping.
But I do see the bill, though. I want to eliminate income taxes on teachers because far too many are leaving our state. No taxes on cops either. I work with them every day and see how they put their lives on the line for us. And I will work with anyone from any party to save Mississippi's hospitals, which Cindy Hyde-Smith put on the chopping block. Look, I'm tired of Mississippi getting the short end of the stick. I know we can do better. I'm Scott Colom. This is my family. And I'm running for Senate to make life a little easier for yours. Because Mississippi matters. I hope you'll join me. Okay, girls.
Okay, the ad is cute. I mean, the little campaign ad is cute. I mean, if that's his first one introducing himself to the people of Mississippi, hey, you can't do no better than that. It's solid. Ronald Reagan, that tie is a red flag. As long as he's not supportive of the whole trickle down situation, I can get with the no taxes for cops. As long as we get no taxes for teachers first, I'm in no complaint for that. I think no taxes for teachers should come first before anything, but that's just me. I mean, some people may feel differently, but yeah, I mean, this is I've heard of this guy before, but I wasn't really aware of him running against old Hyde-Smith, but yeah, he seems to be a solid candidate. I can dig it.
Last line.
That's the rap!
Oh, that's the slogan, Mississippi
Let's
Matters?
bring in District Attorney Scott Colom from Mississippi. You got Mississippi confronting a lot of very serious issues right now, and your opponent, Cindy Hyde-Smith, is saying everything is great, things are wonderful, everybody's rich. Don't you all feel like you're in Club Rose Garden with Donald Trump? Don't you all feel like you're there, when Donald Trump goes to Windsor Palace? Like Mississippi, it's like you're in Windsor Palace with Donald, huh? What do you make of it, Scott?
Listen, thank you so much for having me, Ben. Here's what I make of it, and it's why I'm running. Mississippi has to have a state that's gonna put our interests over DC politics. And what you've outlined in that opening is a perfect example of someone who cares too much about what people in DC think, and not enough about what people in Mississippi think. And that's why I'm running. I'm a 7th-generation Mississippian. I'm raising my daughters here. My wife and I have opened businesses in Mississippi. I've been elected district attorney. I beat a 27-year incumbent, a person a lot of people didn't think I could beat. And I'm now in my 3rd term, and I'm proud of my record of keeping the community safe and the courtroom fair. And I think I've got a platform and a message that's gonna excite Mississippi voters, because I'm gonna take on folks to represent us, and she's giving that away as you outlined. She's done nothing for wages. I mean, we haven't raised the minimum wage in our country since before the Afghanistan war. I mean, it's been so long. And people in Mississippi deserve a raise because wages make a big difference, and she's doing nothing to increase wages. And then last, I wanna point out, as you said, when it comes to our hospitals and our healthcare, she just really betrayed us. I mean, what she did is she voted for a 3% permanent tax break for people making over $600,000 a year. Ben, it may not shock you to know this, but we do not have that many people in Mississippi that make over $600,000 a year.
That's all a part of the big beautiful bill that Cindy Hyde-Smith voted for to pass in the Senate.
Not even close. So she paid for that tax break for people that live in California and New York. She paid for that by cutting health care for at least 140,000 Mississippians and putting at least 8 hospitals at risk of closing. And that's a perfect example of someone that cares more about DC politics.
Essentially, when you cut healthcare for so many individuals, you're cutting a major source of funding for smaller hospitals, especially rural hospitals. They're forced to close because the people that they serve no longer have healthcare. You get what I'm saying? That's essentially what happens when you cut healthcare.
And they do their own state. And that's why I'm running.
I think on top of their list, right? I mean, before healthcare, affordability, prices, peace in the world, education, jobs, family, 90,000 square foot ballroom that's going to be gold that Donald Trump is building there. That's a big priority to Cindy Hyde-Smith. I don't know. I mean, I think those 140,000.
Yes, Cindy Hyde-Smith approves of the ballroom. She approves of sending millions to Venezuela and Trump's friends in other countries. But then they will stand in front of you and tell you that they're American first, which is not true by any parameter. If you actually look at what they're doing, nothing about what they're doing is America first. Nothing about what they're doing is even Republican first.
Mississippians who may be out of the health care that they're entitled to. Club Rose Garden, Scott, they've demolished the Rose Garden. They've made a cabal club for all of the kind of rich Republicans that get to party, and the people in Mississippi get to pay for Cindy Hyde-Smith to take the lobbyists to get steak and caviar. Mississippians don't like that? Or you're telling me they want education, healthcare, and they care about like their families? What?
Yeah, I can assure you, as a 7th-generation Mississippian, lived in Mississippi most of my life, they're not concerned about DC. They're concerned about their pocketbook issues. They're concerned about grocery prices are still too high. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was telling me, you know, he usually gets tight on money around the 28th, 29th. He's tight on money right now. And he's, you know, middle class, both him and his wife work. And so you think about working class people who haven't got a raise and who knows how long, prices are going through the roof. And our senator is more focused on making sure that people like Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell, she's too into the DC crowd and not enough about the people in Tylertown, Mississippi, who haven't gotten the relief from FEMA that they're entitled.
Yeah, Cindy Hyde-Smith doesn't show her face at all in Mississippi. She doesn't have town halls. She doesn't have public appearances where she takes questions from the public or anything like that. And that's a lot of the representatives from Mississippi that actually go to Washington, D.C. and makes decisions on behalf of the state. You get what I'm saying? They don't really have town halls with regular people. If you want to have a meeting with them, expect to pay a fee to get that meeting with them. You get what I'm saying? That's what it costs. It's going to cost to even get in their face. You get what I'm saying? It's going to cost you at least $500 to $1,000 straight up. And not even that half the time. You get what I'm saying? So
I mean, one of the most basic things that should always be bipartisan, disastrous weather events happen, and Trump's FEMA, which is basically run by Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski, which who knows what's even going on there with those two. And then the Corey Lewandowski puppet, you know, who has no clue how to even, has never had a FEMA experience. They're not even giving Mississippi the disaster relief aid. Talk to us about that, because if you're not getting that, what was that video I showed you with the Republicans? Thank you. Thank you for what? Like literally, thank you for what? Like what am I missing here?
Thank you for cutting taxes for people that live in New York and California. That really helps us. Cutting taxes for people that live in New York and California, places that are stealing too many of Mississippi's young people, right? And cutting our health care to pay for it. I don't think that you don't get a thank you for that. You get a, you know, let's change leadership and let's get somebody like me in there that's going to fight for them. And the Tylertown is a, you know, we had a tornado. They're applying for FEMA. They're not getting any relief. And Cindy Hyde-Smith is nowhere to be found on fighting for her citizens. And it's because it's a perfect example.
Yeah, nowhere to be found. She's not fighting for any type of federal aid to come in and help the people of Tylertown or any of those surrounding areas that was affected by those tornadoes. And it's very clear that Cindy Hyde-Smith and some of her cohort is interested in only sacrificing some of the most fragile Mississippians to uplift some of Donald Trump's most richest friends. That's what this is about.
Of what happens when you're so partisan that you're willing to give up your voice in DC. You're willing to give it up. You're willing to give up your vote, and you're not fighting for your constituents. And I'm so sick and tired of it. And I think I know Mississippians are sick and tired of it. The key to it is to educate them on the issues. I mean, my focus is going to be on her record, because she has a record of serving DC, and she has a record of political hypocrisy. Can I tell you one bill that I'm gonna propose when I get elected to the United States Senate, Ben? It's really important.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be the End the Political Hypocrisy Act. I'm tired of people like Cindy Hyde-Smith voting against the bipartisan infrastructure money that came down to Mississippi, but showing up at the ribbon cuttings, going on the local news, bragging about the money.
Hey, that's facts. Like, if you're gonna be a politician out here and you voted against Biden sending money down here, you voted against the Biden approved infrastructure bill. That's what he sent. That's money that he sent down here to Mississippi to help with all the buildings, roads, and bridges and all that. She sent her behind up there for the ribbon cutting to accept that money as if she did something. This is what Cindy Hyde-Smith does on a regular basis, especially when there's a Democrat in the White House helping the poor people of Mississippi. She takes credit for stuff that she knows that she voted against, and it's aggravating when people will sit there and not realize stuff like that.
Trying to hide and lie to the voters about how that money got to Mississippi. She voted against the money, and we need to stop that. We have to stop political hypocrisy. So I'm gonna propose an act. You can't go to the ribbon cutting if you didn't vote for the money. You can't do it. It's deceitful to the voters. It's deceitful, man. It's wrong.
Scott, where can people find out more about the campaign, learn more about you? And then also, before we go, after you tell us where they can go to find out more about you, just tell us kind of your, like, if you were to get in there, what would you do right away?
Thank you for that. So you can find out about me at www.scottcolom.com. Scott spelled the normal way, Colom, C-O-L-O-M as in Mary, scottcolom.com. You can go to my website. Really, we need to excite the small dollar donors out there. So if you think Mississippi matters, then go to my website and consider contributing, because we have to show the country that Mississippi matters this election cycle. Last governor's race, we had a candidate lose against a Republican incumbent by 27,000 votes. We are a competitive state whenever we get the resources to get our message out. And let me answer your question about my priorities. My first two priorities, we have to raise the minimum wage. A place like Mississippi, we don't have a state minimum wage. So the $7.20 that everybody knows.
That's a good priority to start with. I have to admit, that's a good one.
Nobody can live on, right? That's the minimum wage in Mississippi. We have to boost that. And for everybody out there that says, well, I'm not making the minimum wage, so that doesn't help me. Yes, it does, because one of the things that raising the floor does is it boosts all wages. And so we have to do that. That's gonna be one of my big priorities. And the second one is we have to repeal these healthcare cuts. We have to repeal the healthcare cuts. We have to save Mississippi hospitals. So I'm gonna repeal those healthcare cuts. I'm gonna save Mississippi hospitals. And I wanna make one final point for everybody out there that somehow think Mississippi is not gonna be competitive. The Republican Party is already spending money against me. They know that Mississippi is competitive. That's why they're trying to stop me from getting momentum. And so what I need is the resources to fight that, because we have to get on offense. We have to get on offense. We have to get on offense. And Mississippi is a great place to get on offense because we have a lot of voters who are being hurt by Cindy Hyde-Smith giving away her voice. And we have a message that can get them in our camp.
Okay. Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, Scott Colom, he seems like a solid candidate to run against Cindy Hyde-Smith. Y'all go support him. I like him so far. I like his messaging so far. I like what he's about so far. From what I've seen of him, I have to look at some of the more, look at how he approaches certain policies in detail, especially some of his economic policies. I haven't heard much there outside of raising the minimum wage. But he seems like a solid candidate especially to run against Cindy Hyde-Smith. She's very weak right now. She hasn't really shown her face in front of her people in forever, if they didn't already pay a ticket to see her. And that's not right, especially in this economy in Mississippi. So I hope that he puts up a good fight and wins against Cindy Hyde-Smith. The election is in 2026 in November, so y'all know where to go already. I mean, the Democrats showed out this year, and the Democrats should show out next year. So that's the way I see it, and that's the way it should be. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and go give this candidate a look up and support him if you support his message and his platform. Y'all have a good one, and be safe out there.